so I won't get fined.
We talking about practice.
Come see me. I'm about that.
What's going on with the Steelers? That's the question. Welcome back to I Am Athlete Daily. I am your host for today, Brandon Tyrone Marshall. Kayla Nicole Brown is traveling out to the Bay. We also have Guy McCarthy sitting in. I'm not sure what his job is on the show, but can we get do we have a shot of Guy? Do we? No? Okay. There we go. Bam. There we go. Guy McCarthy right here. Guy is our intern / social producer. Does a lot of things for us, but he's just sitting on the show quietly. Let's see if he speaks today. We got Mike Sims Walker here, my teammate. Always a huge debate. Who has the better hands? Yesterday, he let me know that he thinks he can catch the football better than I can. Can't give him that. We got Marquette Hollywood Brown. I said Marquette Hollywood Brown. We got our resident journalist here, and we also got DJ Khalid checking in. We're going to jump into the show. We have not a lot to talk about, but we have some cool things to talk about, right? Starting with ASAP Rocky, Hollywood Brown. My bad.
Hollywood Brown.
My bad.
Like,
you see what I did?
It's all good.
You saw, I was like, I got, you know what I'm saying?
So that means, I got the hands too? I'm good.
Stay in your lane.
But first, before we get there, though, of course, welcome to I Am Athlete Daily, presented to you by Vivid Seats. We have a huge show. Beyoncé Trivia is back, and we're giving out a $100 gift card courtesy of Vivid Seats. So you don't know when this will happen in the show. So chat, you got to be ready. So go to the Vivid Seats app in the Game Center, play more Beyoncé Trivia, and you have a chance to win $1,000 in Beyoncé tickets. But yes, like you did say, ASAP Rocky was found not guilty on all charges yesterday. And before I even get into like the full story of this case, I found it so prolific in how he responded to finding out that he wasn't guilty. We actually have the sound and the video here of the reaction.
Entitled action. Find the defendant, Rakeem Mayers, not guilty.
Not against the audience. Or you cannot get the audience.
God first. You got to thank God first, you know what I'm saying? And I really want to thank the jury for making the right decision, you know? And I'm just so thankful. This is crazy right now. This whole experience has been crazy for the past 4 years, but I'm thankful. Nonetheless, I'm thankful. And we're blessed to be here right now, to be a free man talking to y'all. Thank you. All praise to God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sister.
Get your life back.
Thank you, brother.
We'll get you positive.
So this whole incident, this started back in 2021. So for those of you who don't know, ASAP Rocky was accused, and his brother, a friend of his, I'll say a former friend of his, ASAP Relly, pressed charges on him because he shot at him during an altercation. Now, it hasn't been released as to what happened before, what motivated that, but this did happen in 2021. Rocky was being charged with 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic weapon and was facing up to 24 years. But in this case, some things that really stood out to me was that first, ASAP Relly admitted to lying under oath. right? And this whole thing took place. So during the trial, he initially denied firing a gun at a shooting range, but changed his testimony after being shown video evidence. He explained that he lied because he was tired of answering questions. So that's one. Two more things that he actually lied about as well. It was text message inconsistencies, as well as, of course, as an exaggerated testimony. There were phone calls that were being had, and of course this was all revealed in court. If this was basically like an extortion thing for A$AP Rocky. He tried to extort $30 million for A$AP Rocky.
Dang.
There was a recording that played during the trial that captured Relly discussing his plan to demand this amount in exchange for not participating in the criminal case against Rocky. So this morning I'm listening to like different perspectives on the radio, and I'm hearing all these different broadcasts. And the only thing people are worried about are the albums that are going to be dropped. Will Rihanna drop another album after this? When will A$AP Rocky drop his Don't Be Dumb album? Yeah, like, but
I know where you going with it. Me too. That's the only thing I care
okay,
about.
all right. Well, let's get into that. Let's get into that, and then we'll take the conversation further there. So, is that what you guys are really worried about after this?
Let me tell you why that's the only thing I'm worrying about. Okay. Right, and this may be a crazy take or a take that most people don't understand. Where I come from, where you come from, Mike, there's different codes, right? So we talk about snitching, all of that. Like, I'm right with you. Let's push the culture forward. There's a certain way we should be evolving, right? It's tough where we come from. But if you're going to play by those rules, then play by those rules. Why y'all in court? Why y'all in court? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the only thing I care about is, when is the album dropping? Yeah. When is the fashion show? From them. Exactly. From them. Now, I'm not a big A$AP Rocky fan. I respect a lot of his work and his creativity, but what's his name?
A$AP Relly.
Relly. This is where you come from. This is what you do. This is what you chose to do. There's certain rules. So now you got caught up in a situation because he probably got shot. He did get shot.
He was grazed. He grazed twice. Yeah.
He got shot at him. He got shot. Assault, right?
I can't believe this case didn't get dismissed probably 2 weeks ago. Like, I don't know.
But
how
is
we
it an assault though, Mike? But is it
Huh?
assault though? My whole point in all of this. We
don't even know if he actually got. Bro, he went to the scene like days later and went and picked up some supposedly picked up some shell cases. Yeah. But he was at a gun range earlier that day or the day before, bro. And after he left the scene, he went to go pick up his girlfriend. The police didn't find no shell cases nowhere. Like, I don't even know how this case got this far, honestly. This is every day the man got caught in the lie on the stand. Every single day.
My whole point in all of this, Hollywood, is that there's a certain code, and y'all shouldn't have been in court.
Nah, definitely. You got to keep it in the streets.
That's what y'all chose to do.
Nah, you got to keep it in the streets. So, I wouldn't have been ecstatic. I would have expected to not put guilty plea, especially if you watched the case. I watched it a little bit, but once I kept catching him in these crazy lies. But what gun range he was at? He was supposed to have not been in California, but he ended up being in California. The shell cases. It was just too many lies that he got caught, and I knew. I started watching. I ain't no way they gonna find this man guilty. This is the worst witness you can have. It's the worst witness you can have. He's not credible at all. But I like the way A$AP Rocky move. I like how he maneuver. He's not on a lot of scenes, but when he do pop out, he always make like a fashion statement. You know what I mean? He don't say too much, right? But I think sometimes when he's saying less, it speaks more volume. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. On top of Rihanna on his arm now, so I feel like that's probably one of the dopest couples in hip hop right now.
I see. That's what made me nervous for him, right? He was facing
up to 24 years.
Yeah, Andrew told me last night. I was like, yeah, man, he was going to see 6 months. He said no, or whatever. He's like, no, 24 years originally, right? Up to. And there was a plea for 6 months, excuse me. I would have took the plea. I ain't going to hold you, Mike.
I ain't gonna lie, I would have took the plea.
I would have took the plea.
I would have took the plea. Like, and I understand why he was that excited, because I know he probably knew he was good, but it's still that little cloud over your head, that worst case scenario, that, you know what I mean? Because it ain't your decision or the judge, it's the jury. And, it's just still like an if. You know what I mean? And that if factor determines the rest of your life.
And that was another thing, too, in the beginning of this, and I want to go back and make
Well, before
sure.
you go to the beginning of this, I want to stay right there. That reaction.
Right.
I was talking to Andrew last night and Reese and the team, and they were saying the reason why he did that because if he took the plea, he would have lost all of his deals.
Oh yeah.
Right. So which is still. I'm
tough,
still taking a
free.
plea.
Yeah,
you free.
Get some more money.
You free, but you think about all the motion he has right now, and what he's building in the fashion space. I don't even call him a musician anymore, right? Where he's transcended to. So one of the things that was on the line there was, everything that he's built this far.
But I also feel like the deals kind of go out the window, and he got a family now too, right? Like that got to be your main priority.
Yeah,
like that got to be the first decision, right?
Yeah.
And I got a great wife or girlfriend, I heard they just got engaged right after the trial.
Oh really?
Yesterday,
Now
right?
he
and now they got 2 kids, right?
Yeah.
So like I think that got to be one of the first determining factors in taking the plea or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I'll say this too, Hollywood, because I just made a comment that may be unpopular for some that may not come from the areas that
Taking
we may
the plea?
come from. No, I talked about like street stuff, stay in the streets.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's difficult as in the position that I'm sitting in, evolving and really leaning into wellness. That stuff is important to me, but at the same time, I get it.
Yeah.
I understand it. Like I grew up, I seen it. I got family members in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, that's important for me. But I want to see what happens after this. It seems like there's some good momentum happening right now. You talked about this yesterday, Young Thug is home. You got the other cat from Atlanta home. He's home. Jay-Z, his case was, yep. Jay-Z, his case is dismissed. What do we do now? Right? Like I feel like this is like a little wake up. It should be a wake up call for the culture. Like everything that we've gone through the last couple of years in the hip hop community. Like what are we going to do now?
You know what I
think?
think?
Are y'all going to have a meeting? Is we are the elders in hip hop going to come together and say, yo, like how we going to move differently? Do we move differently, or do we just stay the same?
You know what I think should happen? I think A$AP and Rihanna should just do a joint album. They should just come out with a joint album right now. That'd be crazy. They both haven't did.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Like Jay-Z did, like on the run with Jay-Z and Beyonce type thing. You feel me? Like, I think that'll go crazy right now, especially he just beat his case. None of them Rihanna ain't did music in years. Right? Everybody been hollering about Rihanna doing music. I don't think he dropped nothing in years either. So I think right now, while they got the momentum, I think it'd be dope. They just go ahead and drop a joint album right now. Yeah. Like some Jay-Z and Beyonce type thing.
Yeah. Brandon, I actually like where you took that, because that goes right into my next question here, like talking about like your family and everything, like coming up in that. So growing up, for the both of you guys, what have you seen the justice system do to your family, and how did it affect your upbringing? Because that's where I was wanting to take it in the first place anyway, right? Like this is family with them. Like these are now former friends after this scenario between A$AP Rocky and A$AP Really.
The system broke down our communities, if we're going to keep it a buck. You got to go back to, what is this show called? Snow Bluff? I know that's Snowfall. Snowfall. I use Snowfall, and there's other shows, movies, documentaries, books that I can lean into that highlights this. But that's something that was popular a couple years ago. We all were watching. A lot of us were watching. But that was a true story. The government used drugs to fund the war.
Yeah. Overseas war. Yeah.
So those drugs was planted in our neighborhoods. You're talking about LA, you talk about Chicago. So when you think about the system, I think about from the beginning. That we're still recovering from things like that. So when people look at, the A$APs of the world and what they're going through, well, would they be going through this if the government, back in the 60s and the 70s, if they never planted those type of drugs? Like we talking about walking in Compton and LA and dudes got military guns. Where are you getting those from? They dumping them on the streets. Like literally, this is happening. Like all you gotta do is do the research. So when I think about the system, Mike, that's what I think about. Even what's going on in Chicago right now. Like Chicago, boy, and what's been going on in Chicago, cartel all in that.
Yeah.
When I think about the system, I just think about how the goalposts move. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't so much that they hold us accountable. I don't think they hold the other side accountable. And that's where, the unfair and the unjust stuff come in at. Yeah. Right? Like, You see it multiple times when a black person kill a black person, one die, one go to prison for the rest of his life, right? That's what happens.
Yeah.
When a white person kill a black person,
yeah,
they make all these excuses. He get a plea deal. He might go to prison for 3 years and get the rest on probation and all that. And I think that's where we as people, as a culture, right, need to, I don't know if we can do something about it immediately, but like for me, that's where the goalposts move, and that's where the unfair thing is. Like, you got to hold everybody accountable.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're just the only ones, our culture, our race is the only ones that's being held accountable for our actions.
Yeah.
And for me, that's the biggest thing. And I'm at a point now, and that's kind of ties back into the Kendrick Lamar message thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, we see the messages every day.
Right.
Like, I don't know how many more messages we need to see. I think we need to put some action behind these messages. So, and it wasn't that I didn't enjoy the performance or the music. I didn't care for the messages.
Yeah.
Because we see them every day on social media.
And I'm
but
glad
there
you
are
kept
actions.
that up,
I hate when you say that.
But what? Show me some actions.
I'm not here to argue and fight with you today, but like, bro, there's a lot of people that get to it's a process. You think about, going back hundreds of years, we're fighting the system, we're fighting hundreds of years of systematic things, and it's going to take time, and I don't know if we'll ever recover fully or we'll ever fully win. I think this is what the world's about, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't just our community and our culture, but there is racism, there is bigotry, there is biases, there's all of that, right? So, we do have to continue to talk about it, raise awareness, which is the messages, and we also have to put action behind what we're saying.
Right.
But it's a process.
So let me give you, this is where I disagree at. Like, it sounds like you're saying like nothing can't be done about it, right? Or it ain't really you're saying it's action, but like it could get done. Like,
no, things are changing,
right?
Because even when you talk about like prison reform, right? So it starts with a message. This is like the last 5 years hot topic. Meek, Jay-Z, and a couple other rappers, right? Now there's prison. There's things happening in prison, right? As far as in the system.
So let me tell you when I say action, like so a couple examples here. You remember probably, I don't even know, this is maybe a year ago when the longshoremen felt like they weren't getting paid, and you know what happened?
What happened?
Nobody went to work. That means nothing could get shipped across seas, right? Everybody agreed not to go to work.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Until they got a higher pay, right? That's action. You know what happens in a prison when the inmates feel like they're not getting treated right?
They stop eating.
They sit. They ain't coming out their cells. They're not eating. They're not working, and the prison don't function without the inmates, right?
They sit like
they do it called a sit-in. Nobody leaves their cells. Nobody eats. The whole prison just sit down until they get what they want. To the warden they force the warden hand basically. The whole prison yard sit. They do a sit-in. So when nobody ain't coming out our cell, we're not cleaning up, we're not eating, we're not cooking. Nobody's in the cafeteria. No inmates leave their cell. And guess what happens? Change. Change. You know why? Because it's numbers. It's strength in numbers. That's the action. Like, and I feel like we could do it. We just need the right leaders to initiate that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't. Kendrick Lamar has a platform to initiate something like that.
We don't have like many black leaders or
exactly
like vocal leaders like how we had at MLK or like a Malcolm X type, right? Like, I feel like we don't have, our generation don't really have that like that, except maybe like a 19 Keys.
He said a 19.
Khalid, can I ask you this? Because
the 18 Keys? I don't know.
It's 19 Keys.
It's 19, right?
But like, Khalid, can I ask you this, bro? Like, you're in the community, right? Like, you in it with the people. So when you're having to play an artist that is going through something, whether it's legally, whether it's mentally, if it's being broadcasted, right, something like this, to this degree with A$AP Rocky and A$AP Really, does that affect how even you disseminate the music to the masses out when you're in clubs and stuff like that? Does that affect or make change or anything of that sort?
It depends. In this situation, no. Like, it wouldn't matter. Like, obviously neither one of them put music out in years, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it just really depends. Depends on what's going on. Like, a lot of people don't know this about Chicago. So, for instance, there's two sides, right? You got the BDs, right? And the GDs, right?
Can you explain what the BDs are? What does that stand for?
Black Disciples.
Black Disciples, all right.
And then GDs, Gangster Disciples.
Gotcha.
It's the gangs. Right, so me being a DJ from Chicago, right, depending on who's in the room, determines on, like, what music I can or cannot play. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's been rooms where, like, there's BDs in the room and I'm playing, like, some GDs or whatever, right? And then a nigga come up to me and be like, hey, bro, you gotta cut that off. Like, nah, we ain't, you know what I'm saying? So it's just something I had to learn and navigate through. But that's the only time I feel like it changes or affects.
Is it ever with both in the room at the same time and you just stay away from all both music?
Recently, like, bro, I don't even be playing as much Chicago music in Chicago anymore. Like, I just learned, like, not to. And the crowds that I be around now, it's more like, you know, they ain't on that. But yeah, there's been times I played both. I ain't gonna lie, cause a hit is a hit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, you gonna vibe to this or you not? Like, this is a hit. I don't care if it's your opera wooty woo. You know you like this song or you don't. You know, so just depends.
Have you guys seen that viral video of the dude jumping over the desk at in the courtroom
at the judge?
Oh yeah,
where he's like he was found guilty and he jumped. That was the vibes it was giving. Like,
did we show that video? I don't know if we even had that. I know I put
like Brandon. How would you react if you was
he did the Lambo
found
leap.
Not guilty? Would you
Lambo
jump
leap.
over and hug your mama? Or what would you do?
I would have been similar. Like, I would probably played it smoother. But I definitely would have had my heart beating like his. Did y'all see his heart beating his chest? He was like this when she was reading the verdict. But I probably would have cried. Then I would have did the Lambo leap though. He definitely did the Lambo leap.
Yes,
man.
All right, so moving on. Of course, you were watching I Am Athlete Daily, presented to you by Vivid Seats. Mike, Brandon, Guy McCarthy, Khalid, thank y'all for y'all input there on the ASAP Rocky topic. So it's time for some Beyoncé trivia.
Yep.
You ready? Y'all think y'all gonna win? Chat, y'all think y'all gonna win? Guy, you ready to read from the chat?
I'm ready.
Hold on, let's come back to the Beyoncé trivia. Let's come back to the Beyoncé trivia. Let's get into some sports talk. Let's get it going a little bit. You know, big win for ASAP Rocky. I'm excited to see what happens with the culture, right? Like, there's a lot that the culture has gone through from a hip-hop standpoint, right? I mean, that's what comes with it. Now you have Jay-Z, like I said, dismissal. ASAP home, Thug home. You know, what's the other gentleman's name? I don't even know his name. YFN Lucci. Okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? But if you play by those rules, stay by those rules. Yeah. Okay? We want to be over here. Let's get right. All right, so what we have in sports?
Yeah, so Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has parted ways with his agent at Wasserman and now represents himself, according to Chris Haynes last night, who reported this news. A bold move as he continues to this MVP caliber season, leading the 44-10 Thunder. The 26-year-old star is currently on a 5-year, $179.3 million contract through 2027, but is eligible for a 4-year Supermax extension this offseason worth nearly $300 million. If signed, the deal would make him the first player in NBA history to earn an $80 million salary in a single season by 2030-31. This is a big move, right? $300 million here. Is it wise, like, for him to be representing himself or even on the brink of doing that with so much money on the line?
I don't agree with it. It's almost, to me, like going into a court without a lawyer. You know what I mean? Because it's just languages that you just won't be able to understand that's in that paperwork that most agents will. And when you playing with that type of money, you want to cross all your T's and dot all your I's. We've seen this before in athletes, like Lamar Jackson situation, right? When it took him forever to get a deal, he actually had to go hire Jalen Hurts' agent, right? Because his mom was his agent for a while and they couldn't get a deal done for like 2 years.
No, he didn't hire Jalen Hurts' agent.
She did his deal for sure. Nicole Lynn or something like that, I think her name is.
They still represented it. They just brought go ahead and land. But so being an athlete, I just always rather have representation. I feel like that's just to cover my behind and just make sure, you know, what's in there that nothing that I can't see get seen.
But like, what do you think the reasoning was? Do you think like he wasn't getting the brands that he wanted through his his people, or
no? It's
what do you think it
300
was?
million. Why do I got to give you what is it in the NBA, Mike? Like how much are these players in the NBA paying?
It's up to 4%.
4%?
Yeah.
4%. Right? In the NFL, when we first got in the league, it was 3%. You could take up to 3%, and now guys are giving 1 to 2% depending on who you are and how you negotiate it. 4% is wild, but do the math. 4% of 300 million. Why am I giving you that when I can go hire a lawyer, an attorney to look over the contract?
So let me hold on.
Right? Or I can bring in the Players Association that have attorneys and is familiar with the collective bargaining agreement and also these contracts, right? They can look it over. Like your SGA, you know you're getting the max. I know I'm getting the max. Anthony Edwards knows what he's getting. What are you going to do for me? You know what I need for you to do for me? I need you to help me build my business. I need you to help me, with my brand. Like, is there, deals that you can help me bring in? Like, how do I get into fashion? How do I get my own sneaker, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Those are the things that you need as a modern athlete. But representing me and my contract, I think that's been outdated, and you've seen guys in football start this years ago, and now it's trickling over to the NBA.
But not when you at that point in your career when you getting this type of money. Age is not getting 4% though. We know that percent is dropping outrageously. He might get 0.5% off 300. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that'll be negotiated before he ever get into those meetings and have those talks. Like the percent is definitely dropping, no matter who going in there. But he's gonna have to charge. He's gonna have to pay an attorney. Whoever, he don't need to go in there by himself.
No,
representation.
But I don't think he's going to do that.
Right.
But you can go in there and pay an attorney a flat fee. You can
sure.
say, hey, go 50,000.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Real, yeah. And that's actually how athletes need to be moving, especially nowadays. In ball, when we first got there, we needed this stuff. All this is for. We needed that. We didn't have that infrastructure. When you think about the business around an athlete, right? The economics were different when we first got in the league or before us. So you had to have agencies, you had to have financial advisors. But when you're bringing in 50, 60, 70 million dollars a year, you know what you need? You know what you shift from? You shift from having agents to family offices. You should have attorneys working for you full time. Mm-hmm. Not a financial advisor that that manages 20 different athletes, 40 different athletes. You need a financial advisor that wakes up every single day managing your portfolio. That's what you need. Mm-hmm. That's what the modern athlete needs. So, SGA, I would like to hear more about it. Not just, okay, I'm representing myself. I want to hear you about your infrastructure. Teach us.
Right.
That boy Bezo in the chat, he said they only need 1% of that. Bezo is in the chat.
I ain't giving him nothing. Let me tell you about my son. Let's say my son is SGA.
Right.
All right, son, look, daddy set up the family office. That's what I'm trying to get to right now. Right? Let's say 3 to 5 years, I Am Athlete's worth $1 billion. Before it even gets to $1 billion, I'm having a family office, financial advisor. You're not representing 30, 40 different people, right? Like I want my office set up like Woody Johnson. I want my office set up like the owner of the Cowboys, Jerry Jones. I want my office set up like the old owner of the Mavericks.
Who's in these offices? Who's running these offices? What are their responsibilities in these offices?
Manage your money, and then also protect your money. So I'll show you right now. This is what it's all about. Yeah, you got to have a team full time because you got to protect it. That's a whole job to protect it. Which that's where attorneys come in at. There's also strategy. There's so many things, and then you need a team like this. That same team, which can have different individuals. Obviously, need to go grow my money, right?
And this team only works for you. No other athletes, no other clients, only you.
Think about the money we're moving every single day, and nowadays we had to be conservative as athletes. Back in the day, we had to be conservative because, especially say football. Let's focus on football. Because it's different strategies. Average playing career for a football player, 2 to 3 years.
Right. 3.5.
What is it?
3.5.
3.5 years.
Yep.
All right. No guarantee contracts. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. So you're making, let's say, $10-20 million. You got to be conservative. Don't make it on investments. No alternative investments. Put your money into the market and let it sit for 10 to 15 years. Now, a doctor, a lawyer, they could be more aggressive. Why? Because they can work until they're 60, 70.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you're blessed as an athlete to actually play into your 30s, but then you got 30 more years. That money got to go from 30 to 80, and then you want it to go down to your kids and your grandkids. So you have to be conservative. But athletes don't have to be as conservative as we used to. Why? Because they're making more money. You can actually do what Kevin Durant is doing. Right. I can take $1 million, $2 million, invest in Coinbase, and that $1 million, $2 million turn into $30 million, right? So what athletes are doing now, they're saying, all right, I'm bringing in $40, $50 million this year. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna allocate $4 million to be a little bit more aggressive. I'm gonna invest in some startups. I'm gonna invest in some emerging technologies. I'm gonna invest in open AI. Right, so the business around in sport has changed, which means it trickles down to the athlete, which means the athlete we need to evolve our infrastructure and how we do business.
But Brandon,
go ahead.
You're speaking from a 40-year-old mind. These guys are still 22, 23, 24, right? They can't see that far right now, bro. You're speaking from your mistakes or what you should have done or what you did do, right? You got to try to get a 22, 23-year-old kid to actually believe in that and actually do that, and that's the hard part. Like, experience is the best teacher. Like, you can tell them, you can have a mentor or whatever it is, they're going to do what they want to do, right? They're going to trust who they trust, and a lot of times that don't happen that way.
No, you're 100% right, but that's what platforms are for. So you got to listen.
Yeah.
Because who are we listening to? We were listening to the old heads. Mm-hmm. That's our job. Our job is to educate.
Yeah,
right?
That's real. Yeah.
So now when you look at LeBron, you don't think LeBron has a family office? Do you think Steph Curry has a family office? Do you think Peyton Manning has a family office? They do.
But that's not the typical athlete, though. You're going for like the greatest of the greatest. Like you gotta go to like the average.
Yeah, no, we are. It's a process.
Athlete, right?
So let me walk you through the process. Okay. So let me walk you through the process because you're right.
Get us through that.
Nowadays, guys are making more money, right?
Correct.
So you're right. Family office is for those who have generational wealth.
Got you.
Okay. Now the athletes that are drafted in the second, third, the fourth round may not know if they're going to get that big second contract or that big third contract. You know what you need? You still need those institutions. You still need a Goldman. You still need a Morgan Stanley. You still need a financial advisor that manages 20 to 30 people. But what you don't need anymore is an agent. Why am I going to give an agent 3% of my contract when I can go hire an attorney or I can bring in an NFLPA to look over my contract? That's what blew my mind, Mike, when I was negotiating my contract with the Chicago Bears. We both had the same agent, Kennard McGuire,
for sure.
Right? Kennard McGuire, I wouldn't change it for the world, but when we were going through my third contract, right? So I'm about to negotiate another big contract. He was like, all right, let me get the NFLPA on the line and let me get their thoughts on it. Guess who he called? The attorney at the NFLPA. And we went through the salary cap of the Chicago Bears and also other teams that could potentially trade for me, right? And they analyzed, they did the whole comparisons to Chicago Bears and every other team. So the analysis of my contract, they broke it all down. Within a week, they got back to us and said, all right, this is how you should be positioned. Now it comes down to, and this is where Lamar needed some help, it comes down to negotiations. That's what it comes down to. Am I going to hold out? Am I going to show up but not practice? What am I going to do? Right? Am I going to go to dinner with the owner? Am I going to go to dinner with the coach? What do? I send a message to the fans? Like, that's what it comes down to.
But so this is where I got a little pushback at. You just can't hire any kind of attorney, right? Like, you can't go out there and get no personal injury or no criminal attorney.
That's right.
They're not going to be understand no CBA. Mm-hmm. You got to go get an actual sports attorney or an entertainment attorney is what they call them. Most agents are attorneys, right?
Most. What the rules has changed now. Now you need like 3 or 4 years of negotiation experience.
It's like 7, I think.
Yeah. Right.
But most agents are attorneys from my understanding or my experience, right? But you just can't go hire no any attorney.
Used to be.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it used to be.
Okay, I've been out the game a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but also, this team, how much are you paying this attorney, this financial advisor per year? And you're gonna have to give them raises, bro. You got to give them.
All right, do this math real quick.
No, let me finish. You got the insurance.
60. Let's do 50. Let's do 40 million. Let's do 40 million, and let's do 12%. What's 12% of 40 million? Go ahead. I'm listening.
Insurance for these guys, right? Because you got to think they can go get a job making $200-300 grand a year with benefits, bonuses, and all this stuff. Are you going to incorporate that? And does that equal paying all these guys into an agent percentage?
So what I like to do in business, I like to reverse engineer everything. And that's a term that a lot of people throw around. So I'm not inventing this term, right? I just listen to the people that are successful, right? So when you reverse engineer this thing, I look at where do we need to evolve to. We talked earlier about our culture and our communities, right? There are some communities and there are some classes that are what? More evolved.
Correct.
Right? Mm-hmm. What are they doing? What are they doing? When I had a financial advisor, when we first got into the league, Mike, financial advisors used to walk into our homes and stuff and pitch us. Mm-hmm. You know what I used to say?
What?
I ain't gonna hold you. I say, man, what's the white man doing? Dude came in and started talking to me about Andre Johnson this and all the athletes. That I said, well, most athletes go broke. Why are you telling me what the athletes doing? I don't want that. What is the white man doing?
That's smart though. That's good.
Right?
That's good.
Because history has shown that what? They have been more financially set, more financially free, right? But that's what history, not saying that there aren't a lot of us, that are well off and making sound decisions, doing great things. So if we reverse engineer it and we look at, the people that we aspire to be, or maybe we're even in the same class, what are they doing? So that's what I'm saying to you is, yes, I am giving benefits. Yes, I am putting them on full time. Why? Because if I'm Tyreek Hill and I'm making $40 million a year, and let's say just in the market not tradition, but like let's say over the last 10 to 15 years, the market has returned
4.8 million.
What would that say? 12%?
Yeah, 12%.
So 12%, that's 4.8 million just on my money just sitting there.
But where you finna make 12% at, bro?
In the market.
No.
Listen what I'm saying to you, because now I'm putting 40 million. Let's say I'm putting every year. I'm putting, so he's making. Let's say a receiver, 30 million on the field, 10 off the field. Now I'm going to put that into my portfolio. So not everything goes into the market, but let's say out of that 40 million, I may put 20 into stocks and bonds. Over the last 15, 20 years, like not long term, because we're just looking at the last 3 or 4 years, we've been in a recession, right? So it's a big dip. We're down. You ride that out as an athlete. You ride that out when you're in the market long term. Why? Because of course you're going to have times like this. Now this is a devastating moment for a lot of us. I lost $7 million like that in 3 months. $7 million gone like that just off of the market. And 2 years ago, a lot of us did that, right? But what you're banking on is that coming back. So over the last 15, 20 years, the return has been through the dips and the highs has been 10 to 12%. Just a good financial advisor, a good money manager. Okay, so if Tyreek Hill brings in 40 million on the field, off the field, if Tyreek Hill brings in 40 million on the field, off the field, just sitting it there, his money is making money. That's 4.8. Now, how are you also growing it? What else are you doing? So you can afford to put together a team, right? Because conservative is I'm just putting it in the market and we're just going to make this money every single year. Now what athletes need to be thinking about is how can I be more aggressive? How can I turn this into $1 billion, right? That's how millionaires started, by having thousands and made the sound decisions, and then millionaires became billionaires because they were able to sit there and have strategy. And you need people that sit there every single day. It's like, I'm gonna manage your portfolio, I'm gonna manage your business.
Got to peel back a little bit, a couple layers. Let me peel back a couple layers. You mentioned how you said when a financial advisor walked in your house, the first thing you asked him was what the white man do.
That's right.
Well, honestly, bro, if we're gonna peel back some layers, that's your favorite thing to do, right? That money is inherited, right, from the parents.
For some,
you know what I mean? Like, honestly, bro, that money is inherited from the parents and the grandparents and the great-grandparents. Majority, right?
I'll let you land.
And then also, they ain't got to take care of the parents and their other uncles and aunties and grandmas and all that stuff too. So that's where the athlete, the majority of the athletes, that's where our issue is, bro.
That's right.
You know what I mean? The white people getting taken care of by their ancestors. We are taking care of our ancestors.
Well, it's not everybody. I don't like to put everybody in the same thing. Majority. And yeah, you got to go back to, housing, mortgages, that played a big part in it, redlining, et cetera, yes. Money in our community, what flows up and it doesn't flow down. Right. Is what you're saying. So I agree with you there.
To take care of our parents.
Yeah, we make it to the league. I was going to buy my mom a crib and retire my mom.
And retire my mom.
Yeah, we have people in the locker room, teammates in the locker room, like, oh, my mom's still working. Like,
right.
Yeah, my mom. Oh, I didn't have to buy her house. Her house is paid
she
off.
already got a house.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? So we already we starting off in the red.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Well, they're already in the green, and I think that's what the white people do. That's the difference.
100. Well, there's so much to it. It's very complex.
This is a conversation that we'll have for like 3 hours.
For sure.
Literally.
For sure.
Because it's just like, you could say it goes back to snowfall, right, Brandon? Right? Or you could say it goes back to slavery. Like, you know what I'm saying? We already behind. We know that, right? What's the remedy? How do we come together and push forward, right? And it was a big thing that you were saying when you was like, oh, but the change can't really come. You were saying action. If we talk about total action and actually seeing things change, it's not going to be right away. It's going to be 20 years, bro. Like, before we actually see, like, real change where it's like the monies is different. The categories is, or the jobs is different. Because that's not a right away thing. You got people making laws. You know what I'm saying? It's just so many factors that goes into it besides just us saying, hey, we want to do this. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got to get everybody on the same page. You know, one of the most amazing things, because it is Black History Month. I read a lot of books, and I was reading about the boycotts in the 60s. And it was so amazing that all these Black people could come together and say, hey, we're not going to use the buses, and this is their main way of transportation, right? So that's what you're talking about. But it's so difficult nowadays. We got social media, everybody in their own worlds. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we don't feel the effect how they felt the effect in those days. So maybe it doesn't bother us as much. I'm not saying all of us.
That's good.
Like, obviously, there's some of us that are like this, right? But then there's a lot of people who not, or who don't care.
That's good.
Well, like y'all both have kids, right?
Correct.
So if your kids grow up and they become millionaires, are you expecting a return on investment from them?
Yeah, in a way, yes. My family office, and if you study the Rockefellers, right, and there's other family offices, the Forbes family, there's books written on how to set up a family office, and you don't have to be a professional athlete, and you don't have to be wealthy to do this. Right? There's systems, there's rules, right? My kid, all right, you get this inheritance and you can have access to this if you graduate. Then you have 3 to 4 years experience here. You work for the then this happens, right? And if you maintain, but you have to set this up. You have to set the infrastructure up. You have to teach this, okay? So when I say, in a sense, yes, because what happens is that same family office, when I'm dead, is also managing my kids, right? And then there's also my grandkids, okay? And then there also needs to be hiring practices. Because what happens, these same CEOs or financial advisors, whatever, they're going to maybe take new opportunities, they may die, et cetera, et cetera. So what is the credo? When you walk into Woody Johnson's office, family office, the Rockefeller Center, if you go down the Rockefeller Center in the city, their office where that tree gets lit up, it's right there. So if you walk in our office and look out during Christmas time, the tree's right there that we all celebrate, we look at, right? The first thing you see is their credo. Their family credo that's been around for 100 years. Everybody walking, here's our family credo. So, yes, because money stays in the family. Like even now, I'm like, yo, I walk in here with my kids. I want them to be whatever they're supposed to be, right? But can you do that here? Right?
I'm saying
I was just with the Tisch family, the owners of the Giants, right? Just, I've been bumping into them. I played for the Giants for a little bit. So one of the owners is the Mara family and then the Tisch family, own half of the Giants. And I know that's another conversation for today. But his son went to school, Duke. He went off, worked at this agency, and they have a family office. And now he's transitioning potentially. Eventually, he's going to transition to the family office, right? Pops is getting older. Who you think is running the family office now? His sister, Mr. Tisch's daughter. She was the CMO of Peloton. Did an amazing job there. But now after she left there, now she's back at the family office, running a family office where they're making investments. They manage their assets like the Giants. There's other things that they invested in like TGL, Tigers New League, et cetera, et cetera. And they're also making other investments. Even the entire NFL infrastructure is like a one family office. You walk into, I promise you, Mike, go to 265 Park Avenue. That's the NFL headquarters where Roger Goodell sits and everybody underneath. When you walk in there, you're going to see the McCaskey son or daughter on an internship, the Jones family's grandkids, maybe in the marketing department. They're not making no money, but they're learning the business.
Yeah, that's big.
The business, and it goes on and on and on. The York family that owns the San Francisco 49ers, they're all there learning the business. Oh, go learn. Because you got to come back and run this organization.
Yeah,
it's big. I just feel like we don't have those type of infrastructures in place to put our grandkids and other kids or our family members, period, in those positions. And I think that's probably one of our biggest downfalls. We have the financial leaders to do it, bro. Like Jay-Z and
okay, hold on. But he's doing it though.
Is he?
Jay-Z set up family, we just got to pay attention. He talks about it in his rhymes. Jay-Z has the infrastructure set up. He's moving that way, and he talks about it.
Oprah
has it set up. Oprah has it set up. LeBron James have it set up. Kevin Hart has it set up. And Robert Smith has it set up, right? There's some men and women in business that we can't forget about. Bridgman Junior Bridgman, played in the NBA, then went on to crush it in business franchises, et cetera, right? Just became a billionaire, right? Went back and bought Ebony Jet, right? So there's people that are doing it that have these infrastructures set up. Now we just have to pay attention, but there are people doing it. But it's not as many.
Gotcha.
Well, today we were supposed to be getting Deontay on the show, Deontay Johnson on the show, but we were just informed that he won't be able to make it. We promoted it last night. We didn't tease it in the show today, but we did promote it on the on social media last night. But we were informed today they will not be coming. So, unfortunate.
God damn, Deontay. You good? Well, how many teams? What teams was it, Shelly? No, Ravens. Nigga, you stood up the Ravens.
Oh my God.
You stood up the Texans. You stood up the Steelers, and now you standing up I Am Athlete. We wanted to talk about it.
Oh my goodness.
No, we promoted it. Y'all want to go viral? Let's go viral.
Oh my goodness.
No, handle your business, bruh. Handle your business, bruh. We promoted it, bro. You supposed to be here.
Next up on the
list.
I
ain't no next up nothing. I'm in the bag now, Mike. Mike, the only one to calm me down. Mike, tell me to calm down. I'm going to calm down.
Stuff happens.
Okay, now ain't no nothing.
We don't know your situation, bro.
Ain't no situation.
He said it was his son's birthday today, so he had to go.
Well, you should have told us that yesterday.
Oh, my
hey, man.
You should have told us that yesterday.
Stuff come up, man.
No, you should have told us that yesterday.
Next up,
accountability, right? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you got to be a man.
Let's talk about. That's what we talking about. Roll the promo. Do we have the promo? Shelly did such an amazing job rolling the promo. He did such a job. Why? Because it's like that's the question we want to ask. What happened this year?
Right.
Well, how'd you go from one team to the next team, the next team, the next team, all in 1 year? It's unheard of. It's unheard of.
Yeah, definitely.
It's probably things like this. We want you to have the platform to talk about it so another team can say, oh, we get it. We get it. That's what I Am Athletes is about. It's not to do this and tear you down. Yeah. You know what it's about? It's about for you to have a platform to tell your story. Exactly. Man, I messed up.
Yep.
But you don't treat us like this. You talking about black. We talking about communities. Why are you doing that? You know how much energy and effort Shelly put into putting out that promo when he got to put out 20 other clips? How much money went into our freelance photographers and videographers to be here? You know how many hours Stephanie put together her car wash questions? Hey. No, man, this is B Marsh. This is the B Marsh I want. This is B Marsh I get. Now I can go there now. We can talk about what's happening in the creator economy.
Gotta be a man of your word.
Yeah,
be a man of your word. But
I'm over here looking crazy. We promoting Brandon Marshall again. I Am Athlete looking crazy. Deontay Johnson coming. Oh, Brandon Marshall then failed again. No, bro, this is what we've been going through. Y'all don't want that energy. They don't want this energy. Because when I step in the room with any athlete, anybody, but I don't talk about this publicly. No, you don't understand what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm here with you.
How many hours you put into Deontay Johnson, and all the questions? How many?
No, I was up all night, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Me, Guy Shelly, we was working, getting it in. They know.
Okay, we can move on now. I'm done.
We good? You good?
You good? You done with your rant? You landed?
It ain't. But see, that's the thing though. Everybody take it as a rant. I've been chilling for a couple years. You know, and it's what comes with show business. You are right. Things happen.
Right. Things happen.
You understand?
Yeah.
But when you making us look goofy, I'm tired of looking goofy. Handle your business, bro.
Handle your business.
Handle your business, bro.
Got to be a man of your word, man. If you say you're gonna be there.
And they've been working on this for weeks. Yeah. How many times we been in this meeting every morning? Like, hey, Deontay, we gonna get Deontay coming down. Deontay. All right, I'm done. I'll move on. What else we got?
Okay. Well, speaking about handling your business, Floyd Mayweather wants to buy 10% ownership of the New York Giants, and is reportedly willing to put in a $700 million bid. What do we think about Floyd owning part of the New York Football Giants?
Yeah, so the New York Football Giants, they just put up a small stake for sale, I believe, right? Okay. So they want to bring in a minority owner. That's how this story, that's how we got here, where Floyd is now saying, you know, hey, I got $700 million to become part owner of the New York Football Giants. Look, this is what I would say to this, Mike. I played for the Giants. I was just talking about the Tisch family. The Tisch family's super cool, bro. Like, so dope, right? Mara family is more, and they're the ones that's there every single day in the office. Tisch family definitely involved, but in a different way, right? The Mara is the one that you always see in the front, and they are super conservative. So I can't see this happening because of the Mara family and how they approach business, how they approach their brand. If I'm just going to keep it 100, right? We're talking about how the conservative trickles down to the locker room. When I was playing with Odell, you know, or we had this coach, it was like, all right, the New York Football Giants, you know, we wear blue tights, like to practice. We come out there, you know, red tights, one long, one cut off, this and that. Nah, against the rules. The brand is the brand.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Practice, super. You only have you could wear one color tight?
Yeah, and a lot of that, yes, you got to stay on brand.
You never went through that, Mike?
No, I've never heard it. You could wear anything in practice. You ain't got to wear tights. You can wear tights. You can wear shorts. You can wear anything. Yeah, But so you saying like culturally this won't work for Floyd?
Yeah, I don't think this is a good fit. I don't even want to talk. Yeah, I don't think that's a good fit.
Man, I respect Floyd, man. Floyd is from the outside looking in, he's a hell of an entrepreneur. I know he owns a lot of buildings in New York too. He got a lot of real estate in New York, and I don't know how it seemed like he just manages his money well. And the man is one of the biggest flexes you'll ever see on social media. Yeah. Right, and you like, man, he still got that much money. You know what I mean? He still private jets everywhere. Yeah. courtside at every game. Yeah, he buying up all the designer stores.
Right.
He buying every new car that come out. And this man ain't boxed in how long?
Well, I would say just real life boxing. This has been a minute. Hold on, I'll get it for you. But
And now he's trying to put up $700 million, bro. You know how much money that is to not have worked? I know he did a couple exhibition fights, but that was, I think he made like $8-9 million. $700 million to still have to go invest in a football franchise.
Yeah.
It's
His
crazy.
last professional boxing fight was August 26, 2017 against Conor McGregor.
2017.
But I'll be remiss if I don't say this. Floyd is an influencer too, and influencers make to stay in the news. They say things like this: "I'm gonna buy the Giants," and and what I would say, the people who are buying the teams, they don't come out and say this publicly. This goes back to the financial conversation.
Right.
When you moving like a billionaire, you think a billionaire coming out saying, "I'm about to go buy." Now things get leaked. Hey, these groups, these people came together, put together a group, et cetera, et cetera.
Well,
So,
LeBron came out and said that was a goal of his though. So in that case, is that still count? Or?
Gary Vee has come out and said that the goal of his is to buy the New York
Jets.
Football Jets. A lot of people talk about their goals. That's okay.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about when you're ready to negotiate and you're ready to do that. I mean, listen, there's different tactics, different strategies. So, it could work. But majority of these people buying teams, they move a certain way.
Yeah.
So if he can do it, it'll be a great win. I would love to see Floyd, continue to succeed. Right, that's a success story. That's a success story for us. Right, another comp out there that we can say we can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Mike is right. I never forget when I was playing for the Chicago Bears. He pulled up to Chicago, and I was staying in this high-rise building downtown, and I seen a bus, and then I seen his bodyguards, his big guards, security jump off the bus. But I know Big Adam and them. We used to when we went to Vegas, we would bring them out, and they would take care of us, right?
Yep.
So Big Adam and them jump off the bus. I'm like, man, what y'all doing here? It's like, oh, Floyd, he in town.
Oh.
I'm like, all right, let me tell him I'm here. I live in the building. He said, okay, come up to the room. We go up to his suite, right off of off of Wacker.
Michigan. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, no, right off Michigan, actually, you're right. And so go up there, and he's like, yeah, man, it was just, everybody's in the living room, and he's in the room, organizing stuff. And he just told me, he's like, yo, man, I don't know, I don't even need the box. This is in the prime of his career. So I don't even need the box. He said, I just made a crazy move in real estate. He said, and he was talking about Al Heyman. Al Heyman's the guy, right? Al Heyman's the guy. There might be one picture of Al Heyman on the internet. He's the one that's putting together, orchestrating everything in boxing behind the scenes. He's like, yo, I just gave so much bread to Al Heyman. Al Heyman just made this crazy play for me in real estate. I'm set for life. No cameras, no nothing. So there's a lot of conversation out there. Does Floyd got it? Does he not have it? I know that conversation I had with Floyd, and he was so quiet. It wasn't the flamboyant Floyd.
Yeah.
It wasn't what we see on the internet. He was just sitting there chill, just literally folding his socks, and he's like, yeah, man, I don't even need this box. I don't even know if I want to box anymore. I'm set for life.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And so Mike, a couple of weeks ago, he was in New York. He's like, yeah, this is one of my buildings.
Really?
Yeah, because those are REITs, if I'm saying this correctly. You can buy into. There's also some financial education, right? So what you can do is I can invest into this fund, right? So I'm investing in you. You're the fund guy. I'm gonna give you $1 million. He's gonna give you $1 million, $10 million. Come into this, and then collectively we go buy all of these properties, right? So,
We can push this conversation forward too.
Yeah.
Brandon, you sent me something last night here, and this is actually from JPA Football. So the Steelers have interest in free agent quarterback Daniel Jones. A source from within the organization told Andrew Filipponi, and I quote, "There's interest in former Giants QB Daniel Jones inside the Steelers organization." And I quote again, "The Steelers could do a lot worse than Jones, with the belief he is actually is a good fit for Arthur Smith's offense and Mike Tomlin's preference for a mobile quarterback," end quote.
No.
What do you think? I can't even ask the question.
No, bro. Where we find it? Who is this source, bro? Is this really credible?
So no, this is according to JPA Football. I want to clarify that this is JPA Football. It is verified. It has 495,000 followers.
Way,
so we come out with information here.
Like, a tiger can't change his stripes. All right? He is who he is, bro. At this point,
what Kendrick say? It's not enough. It's not enough.
Cut the TV off, dog. No, man. Have the Giants been good under his positions yet?
Was he in position is the question, though.
How wasn't he? Didn't he have Odell?
No, not really.
He had Saquon. He had Odell.
But no O-line. And then you look at the offensive coordinator.
So as a Steelers growing up from Pittsburgh, would you like since you vouching for him, would you like Daniel Jones as your starting quarterback?
No.
Why?
Because I want Russell Wilson. So I got something else. I want to go somewhere else with it, Mike. No. You're right. You're right where you at. No, you. Here's my thing. You right what you're saying, Mike.
Okay.
So first I want to say that.
Okay.
We're in two different lanes today. I'm on one today. Bear with me. So what's the quarterback? I do want to respond to one thing you said. Mm-hmm. Tiger changes stripe. What's the name? Played for the Jets. Doesn't go well. Now he ends up in Minnesota. Now he's the number one quarterback on the market. Sam Darnold.
Gotcha.
He changed his stripes. Could have potentially happened with Daniel Jones. Yeah, I know that's an anomaly. Geno Smith, he changed his stripes.
Did he really though?
Yeah.
He won 7-8 games every year. Is that
Who, Geno?
Yeah,
but really? He lead in the league in yards.
Here we go. We playing from behind.
Geno Smith, I think he might 2 years ago. He might have got an MVP vote. Maybe he got one MVP vote.
The famous words from Brandon: numbers don't always tell the story.
Well, here's the thing. This is what I would say, Mike. I'm an underdog, right? So I'm always like, I believe.
Right.
I know myself now. I'll be a terrible general manager because I would be the one be like, I see the intangibles.
It's changing your stripes when it's going from 4 wins to 8 or 9 wins. Is that really changing your stripes?
Mike, you know what you used to tell me in college?
What used to tell you?
Bro, that's trickery.
It's trickery.
This is all trickery, though, but the trickery is not about Daniel Jones. The trickery is about Mike Tomlin. You know I'm from Pittsburgh.
Right.
You just teed me up as a Pittsburgh fan.
Okay.
You know what I want? I'm going to say this. All right, here's a disclaimer. I don't know what's going on in Pittsburgh. I don't know. He say, she say. It's the media. But if Mike Tomlin messed this up,
he's out of there.
He messes up his legacy.
It's over with.
He messes up his legacy. Mike Tomlin is going to go down as one of the greatest leaders of all time, one of the greatest speakers of all time, one of the greatest motivators of all time. Now, the thing that is keeping him from going to like legendary status is what? Postseason success, just mediocrity, right? We're celebrating him never having a losing season. The Pittsburgh Steelers is tied, first all time for the most Lombardi trophies, which means the standard is winning a Super Bowl. Mike Tomlin, you are on the clock as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I love Mike Tomlin. Thank you for the support, the love. Right, he sent his son down here to train at House of Athlete a couple years ago. Thank you. But now we're talking about ball, and I would, as a football guy, I would hope that he appreciates this take. Like, we want to win. The standard is the standard. We have to get this offense right. You have Russell Wilson. Are you going to keep him back? You have Justin Fields that was there. Or what are you going to do? This is a big offseason and a big decision for Mike Tomlin. This is legacy. All this goes to Mike Tomlin. So when you talk about Danny Dimes, you talk about Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, whoever it is, it gotta work. It gotta work. Would you want to celebrate another season of, hey, we didn't lose again? That's what we want?
There's no way. I don't believe that anybody has any interest in Daniel Jones being a starting quarterback, especially the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right? They've already just coming off somewhat of a QB battle, right? They have 2 quality QBs, right? And I feel like this would be definitely taking a step backwards. There's no way nobody agree that Daniel Jones is better than Russell Westbrook Russell Wilson, and arguably probably Justin Fields either. Like, there's no way there's interest in this, especially coming off a quarterback issue already. That would definitely sink the ship for sure.
So, like, what quarterback can come in for the New York Giants that can change the trajectory?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
What quarterback?
Oh, we talking about Pittsburgh?
New York
right?
Giants. New York Giants.
New York Giants.
Flipping over to New York Giants.
I feel like it's more than a quarterback. They definitely need help on the line. The running back Tracy came along towards the end of the season, but they still don't have that backfield that you would like, right? So it's just more than a quarterback, but I know that's where it starts. Honestly, Sammy Darnold. Brandon just told.
Yeah, but Sammy Darnold is no way he's getting out of Minnesota. Like, it's so hard to find a quarterback. It's so hard to have that type of success. It's so hard to get that type of buy-in, bro. Why would Minnesota let him out the city?
They have a top 10 quarterback.
We don't know what he's going to be, Mike.
He was a starting quarterback. He got hurt, Brandon.
He was a starting quarterback because they didn't have a quarterback because everybody wrote Sam Darnold off. We thought he was done.
And they did too. He was a backup.
Okay,
bro.
but by default, JJ McCarthy was the starting quarterback. Why? Because, all right, he's one of the best quarterbacks, prospects in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
We need a quarterback. We bring him in. Sam Darnold is a career backup.
Correct.
That was the book written on him.
Correct.
He goes down, okay, traumatic injury. Oh, my goodness, our season's over. What's going to happen? Sam Darnold comes in and ball.
Mm-hmm.
But don't forget, Sam Darnold, and this is why I go back to Danny Dimes. Sam Darnold is drafted, 3 overall to the New York Football Jets?
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at this dude, USC quarterback, like, yo, this dude can play ball. He goes into a terrible situation, mismanagement, and look how his career started out. He had to fight and claw and scratch to get to this point. So that's why I say that with some of these quarterbacks as well. Like, I know I got that type of personality where I'm always like, yo, I think this person can do it. We can overcome. So I know that could be a fault of mine. But I got to look at everything on the table when it comes to Danny Dimes, bro. You remember, like, it was like Coach Sherman was his offensive coordinator, his head coach.
But listen,
Saquon Barkley had no offensive line, so Saquon Barkley wasn't Saquon Barkley. Odell was hurt the 1 year or so that he had with him or whatever that was. Like, incompetency across the table.
Now, I'm going to give Sam Darnold his flowers, right? He had a great year, but he also had Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson, Addison on the other side, Aaron Jones at running back, with a backup Cam Akers who had a decent year at backup running back. He has so many weapons around him. He ain't finna go nowhere and have these same weapons. Now, will we see the old Sam Darnold if he's not around all those guys?
And that's why Sam Darnold should stay. You right. You right, because all that matters, though. But hold on. Time out, though, Mike, because we have the same conversation with Jalen Hurts, bro. Like, why do we have to knock Jalen Hurts or a Lamar Jackson, right? Because you talk about King Henry and some of the pieces he have, and now you're doing that to Sam Darnold.
I'm not because Jalen Hurts went to the Super Bowl.
Why do we have to knock these quarterbacks for the general manager and the coaches doing their jobs by putting them, surrounding them with the right pieces, the right players? Because you are right. If he goes to another situation, we're gonna say, "Oh, that's the old Sam Darnold," and now we're gonna say he trashed and was all just no. That's what's supposed to happen. That's team. Put it all together and you have success.
I get it.
Now,
go ahead, finish.
He's not the type of quarterback, right, that can take he's not a Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, you can put him on an average team and he can make it really good.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen is one of those guys. I get that. Okay, listen, listen, bro. I'm not against you on Josh.
Right,
I hear that.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying?
No, I get it. But also, you saying he's going into these bad situations, right? And then he'll go into a situation with all these weapons, right? What's the difference with Daniel Jones right now? He ain't going from...
That's true.
He ain't going from a good situation, a bad situation to a good one. He's probably going from a decent situation to probably a worse situation.
Okay, so let's talk strategy now. Daniel Jones is our client.
Okay.
We're representing him together.
Okay.
Hey, Mike, I know you want Danny to take the bag it seems like you want him to take the bag and maybe go fight for the starting job, right? Danny really wants this. His ego's at play. What I think, Mike, I think he needs to stay in this position as a backup. The comps out there is Geno Smith. The comps out there is Sam Darnold. Let's wait for the right situation. Let's wait for the right situation. Let's get you in a situation. You know the quarterback's can go down at any moment this year. So let's get you in a situation. You got the right offensive line, the right offensive coordinator, the right playmakers outside. Quarterback goes down. Now you got 3 games of footage that we can then take to the market.
This the one time. I agree with you. We finally agreed on something. I think Daniel Jones need to take the year off, bro. He need to go be a backup. He need to see the game from the sideline. All right. He need to go refresh, something. All right. Like Sammy did, basically. You know, he had a rough start to a career. You know, put in some bad situations. I feel like Daniel Jones had way more weapons than Sam Darnold did, right, earlier in his career. But he also, I feel like I agree. Now we can be business partners. Right, now we can work together because I agree. He need to sit out. He need to sit on the sideline and see it from the sideline, you know, and just soak in the game and learn it. Like be a student at some point instead of just out there thrown in the fire, learning on the run, learning on the go. You can actually sit back and learn from other people's mistakes.
So, quick question. Being in the Vikings, like if you're the GM, I guess, of the Vikings, when you got somebody like J.J. McCarthy, right, coming back from an injury, but then you have a quarterback like Sam doing so well, what do y'all do? Do y'all trade the rookie? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you bring them both back.
It's a phrase that say, "Don't fix nothing that ain't broke." Right? I ain't fixing nothing that ain't broke. Them boys went 14-3, I think, this year or something like that. That's, bro, I'm not touching the offense. If anything, maybe some defense need to be tweaked, but the offense was on fire. I think I watched a lot of games where they didn't handle the blitz well, right? Because Sam Darnold is not that mobile. So I've seen a lot of issues with that, but outside of that, I'm rolling with the punches.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm chewing on some gum right now. But to answer your question, you bring them both back, right? Sam, give him the bag. Now you find you have 2 quarterbacks. You can always trade them in season. The value goes up. He goes to preseason. J.J. McCarthy shows that he's healthy. He's balling, right? Quarterback needy team. Get into it. Trade deadline is extended. So it's a little past October, going into November. Boom, his value increased, right? Or you can wait till the next offseason. You don't got to rush. You still have him on a rookie deal, right? So you wait.
You wait, for sure.
Love it.
I do want to say this, though. Sorry, my gum. Pittsburgh Steelers. Go back there one last time, and then we can land the plane.
All right.
Maybe do some Beyoncé trivia and then land the plane.
We definitely got to get the Beyoncé in.
All right. Pittsburgh Steelers. I would like to see Russell Wilson back. It fits. It makes sense. But not with Arthur, the offensive coordinator. That is the problem.
Well,
Make the tough decision. Make the tough decision, Coach Tomlin.
Brandon.
Your problem is not the quarterback. Your problem is your offensive coordinator. Quarterbacks. Let's say quarterbacks, because even for Justin Fields,
we was just finna join forces, bro, and then you went left again, bro. This is what I be talking about right here. And then you went left again. You just sat here and complained about being mediocre. He went 6-5 as a quarterback. Why do you want him back?
Married couple.
Because you're not. Can you break down the whole situation
No,
from
we
the
not
stop?
just-
Putting it on the quarterback.
We
That's why
always
we can't.
said team. Now, when it
It
comes
is
to Russell's
team.
situation,
And he
it's
had
the
his receivers
offensive
go down.
coordinator.
They're trading for
Everything
it.
else.
What are you talking about?
No, bro.
George Pickens.
Help this married couple.
George Pickens goes down.
He
They're
didn't
on
go-
fire.
How
tore
many
his
games-
hamstring.
how many-
He was down 3 games, and then you know when you pull your hamstring, you kind of come back. You need more time. So when he came back, he probably still wasn't the time. He still wasn't ready. He goes down. That's your guy, and then you struggle. Okay. Also, you trade for a receiver mid-season. The nuances, the chemistry, continuity needed to get on the same page to go do some dynamics. So now you throw in the Mike Williams mid-season. What do you expect? DeAndre Hopkins was traded for in mid-season. Look at the season he had, too. It's tough. Even Amari Cooper. Josh Allen, your boy, they traded for him because they needed him.
That's good.
And he started off with one great game, and then it was like, where's Amari Cooper?
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? So let's look at the full picture.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying, because Mike Tomlin, just do what you do best, but you gotta strike lightning in a bottle, because he's such an amazing leader. He's such a amazing manager, right? He knows defense. We traditionally, in Pittsburgh, we are a blitz zone team that loves to run the ball, and we like to take big shots. That's what we do. We play great defense, and we run the football, okay? Russell Wilson, that's where he had his success. You got a guy. We don't need Russell Wilson to go out there and be the MVP. We don't need to let Russ cook. Amazing defense. Get that. Make sure that's right, because there was a downturn. Week 11, week 12, they went from one of the best to one of the worst.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Bring back Najee. 4 years in a row, 1,000 yards. Bring him back. I love how he was running.
I don't like Najee.
I'll bring him back.
Me too.
I don't like Najee. I don't think Najee gives you that.
And then I get my receivers right and the offensive coordinator right.
I don't think Najee gives you nothing special, right? I don't think he's, home run hitter. Najee is going to give you the tough 3, 4, 5 yards, but he's not going to break no long runs. You're not going to see him do nothing out of the ordinary. He's not going to give you nothing.
So you're not going to pay him?
No, I'm not paying him nowhere near top 10 running back money. No, I don't think he's proven.
He ran possessed, bro.
Huh?
And that could change but he's done it 4 years in a row quietly.
He's just big, so he's going to give you those 4 or 5 tough yards.
It was like
bro.
5 dudes on him at a time, and he's spinning out of it, still running.
But he's not going to give you no elusiveness. He's not going to make a guy miss. He's not going to get in an open field, and you know what I mean? You're not going to get more than a 20-yard run from Najee, right? Even in the passing game. You need another back that can actually give you some intangibles.
Well, they got it. I can see that happening, and I won't be mad at it if they bring in someone that can do what you said that they need. So
are you two business partners now, or no?
Yeah.
Well, look, we about to come together here. This is I Am Athlete, presented to you by Vivid Seats. Okay, so now are we ready for the Beyoncé Trivia? We can come. So now we can be team. We can be team here, GMs and all of that. Y'all ready for the question? This is your chance. YouTube chat to win a $100 gift card presented to you by Vivid Seats. Y'all ready for the question?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay. When Beyoncé was with Destiny's Child, she was on tour in 1999 with what famous group? Y'all think about it. We're going to wait for the chat.
TLC.
Get active.
I was just going to say that.
Y'all can't say it. Y'all got to wait for the chat.
Oh,
I swear I was going to say that.
Was it TLC?
It was TLC.
I swear
it was TLC.
So I get the 100.
Yeah, you get the 100. We going to eat. Yeah.
Is there another question? I don't even deserve it.
Let's come up with another question. Let's see. This question.
I'm on 5 rants. My limit is 3. I had 5 rants today.
Boy, his feelings today, boy.
In my feelings, dog.
Well, Christy was the first one to say TLC.
Oh, she said it?
But she won it the last time. And the next she could get it, but the next person said
be fair to Christy.
Yeah, Alfonso said TLC right after her. So
is it a rule that you can't?
Yeah,
but dang,
that's crazy. So let you decide. Let you decide what you think should happen.
I'll let her collect.
Is that a collect?
Good decision. Good decision.
You let her collect. So Christy, she's our winner.
Yeah, Christy's our winner.
Okay, Christy's our winner again, ladies and gentlemen.
Christy just said, "I won't be greedy."
Be greedy, Christy.
Oh,
she said, "Be greedy." All right.
Let me tell you, it's not being greedy.
Get what you
it's that we
deserve,
appreciate
Christy.
you so much,
Exactly.
right? We appreciate you because you've been rocking with us for 3 years. We don't even make an announcement. We're going live. Christy, you'll get that alert. Boom, she right there. And I saw your message, Christy, as far as like basketball. Let's get to the basketball talk. Yeah, today and this whole week, the next 2 weeks is tough in sports, right? Because there isn't a lot to talk about. And then also, like, the only thing people are talking about in basketball now is still bashing the basketball. So we bashed it enough. Maybe bash it a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
But the only news today in basketball, what? SGA. And then you got the documentary. I don't know if you guys are gonna watch that. Correct, Kevin Durant and the Olympics. He was crying.
The gold medal.
Yeah.
Gold medal. Have you watched it?
I haven't watched the full thing, but I started watching a little of it.
Yeah. Is it good? Should I watch it? Is it worth the watch?
Pretty decent.
I think it is. I think
like
any
the,
story with the Olympics is good.
Just me personally, I like it's kind of just like day in the life, inside, behind the scenes, up close and personal. You know what I mean? Also, it's dope seeing those guys, all superstars, pretty much, and really no ego, and being able to, work together. I love seeing that.
I saw the clip last night. Anthony Edwards and Obama, LeBron. Did y'all see that clip?
Yeah, I did see that.
Is that from that? Is that from that?
I'm not sure. I do believe so. I'll have to check it out. I don't know if that clip is exactly from there though, but like that was something like that was kind of generated for me last night too. Like Anthony Edwards, man, he a dog. You can walk up to the president. Bro. Would you have done that early on in your career?
Tell him what the president, Mikey. Did you see the clip?
I seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody out there,
he's like, man,
they're all like this little private room, like little bar or whatever, and it's the Olympic team, I believe. So you have Kevin Durant, you have Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Anthony Edwards, Steph Curry. I mean, they all in there, and then you also got Obama, and Anthony Edwards walks in. Obama's right there, and Obama's like, "You're decent or you're good."
He told him stand down.
You better stand down. Well, I'm the truth. I'm the truth. And then LeBron walked up. He was like, "Oh, the truth, the one, the truth." What's the saying? The truth, the only truth, and nothing but the truth. Yeah. That's what he walked in
I
and
ain't
said.
gonna lie. I'm still a little salty about the Olympics, bro. I don't like how they did Jason Tatum.
You still salty?
I'm salty about that, bro. That man just came off a championship. Jason Tatum is easily top 5 best players in the league, bro. And for that man not to get in no minutes is crazy.
Was he the MVP of the finals, or was it Jaylen?
Jaylen Brown won MVP, but he could have easily been MVP. I think they gave it to Jaylen Brown because he went in the media like early on and said like I never get awards anyway or something like that.
Before we land the plane, Mike, I want to ask you this because I know this is a big thing, right? Like the Celtics are doing really good this year. I'll put it to you like that, right? How did you feel about, even after the Olympics, people trying to put like a divide between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum?
I feel like they handled that situation well. Those are like very good teammates, bro. They never even subscribe to none of the stuff that come their way. And that's hard to do, bro, because it's only one ball out there, right? And both of y'all got to share the glory, and it don't seem like no jealousy involved, and none of that. So I respect their chemistry or their, you know what I mean, their relationship, because that's hard to do. But when you both want to see each other do great, you know what I mean. Like that was like me and Brandon in college. It was never no jealousy. It was never no, hey, bro, I got 4 catches. You go get you some. You know what I mean? It wasn't, I'm trying to get all mine and he better get his. No, it wasn't never that. And I feel like that's kind of how it was going. Even if he had 4 catches early and I got 1, hey, bro, go to X. You can go get that one.
We knew where the ball was going.
We knew where the ball was going. You know what I mean? Like
we both was on the same mission. We league bound.
On the same mission. And he really instilled the league bound thing in me. I was just out there playing football. You know what I mean? Like I was just out there. I knew I just was good at playing receiver, but he was so adamant about he
going
just
to the league.
Early went to he went to Crete. He got in trouble, right? So he couldn't do no summer workout. So he went down here with Chris Carter, and he came back and just went talking about number NFL for the rest for 2 years straight. It was just straight NFL. Like, bro, what he been down there doing speed training? He think he fast. And when he came back, I think I was still just like a sophomore. So I'm still like I'm still trying to find my way a little bit. I don't know I'm good as I am. Right. You know what I mean? But Brandon went down south because he was hot head, right? So he couldn't do summer workouts and none of that with us. So he came down here to train, and man, he came back. You'd think he entering the draft the next year, boy. That's all he was talking about. And guess what happened?
What happened?
They moved his ass right to safety.
Well, that's I Am Athlete Daily. We will be back Monday morning, 11 a.m. We'll see y'all soon.
Bro, ain't that like these times, bro? College is the best time.
I'm here so I won't get fined.
We talking about practice.
Come see me. I'm about that.